Hey, what's up guys? This is Ricky V, and in today's video we're going to talk about Frank Zane. In the golden age of bodybuilding, there was one figure who stood out amidst the sea of massive physiques. Frank Zane, also known as the Chemist. Now this is one of those fun videos where I get to take the information on record and speculate on what Frank Zane would have used if the Vintage Muscle products were available to him at that time. Now this is a real interesting video guys, so hang on. Being regarded by many as the embodiment of physique aesthetics in the world of bodybuilding, Frank Zane, born in 1942, began his journey into the competitive realm as a teenager in Pennsylvania. Zane made his mark in the 1960s, grabbing the Mr. America and Mr. International title, as well as a surprising upset win over Arnold Schwarzenegger in his American debut for the Mr. Universe titles. That's right guys, Frank Zane defeated Arnold Schwarzenegger at the 1968 IFBB Mr. Universe competition held in Miami, Florida. This was Arnold's debut in America, and Zane's victory was a notable moment in bodybuilding history as he was one of the few competitors who had ever beaten Arnold Schwarzenegger in a bodybuilding competition. And despite his success, the Mr. Olympia platform was really challenging for Zane due to his leaner physique. But in the late 1970s, Zane redefined the game. He emphasized aesthetic development, symmetry, classical proportions, masterful posing, and very sharp definition. Standing at 5 feet 9 inches and only weighing about 190 pounds, Zane surprised everyone by outclassing much larger competitors. He won the Mr. Olympia title 3 consecutive years, from 1977 to 1979. Zane continued to be a prominent contender in subsequent years, placing third in the 1980 Mr. Olympia and second in the 1982 Mr. Olympia, along with a fourth place in 1983. For 4 decades, Zane has been inspiring countless fitness enthusiasts, training clients in his private California gym, and sharing his unique bodybuilding philosophy. His legacy still echoes in the achievements of modern classic physique champions like Chris Bumstead. The Zane dynasty of Olympia victories is viewed as the golden era, when aesthetics and symmetry were the highlight of bodybuilding. Now when it comes to training, his focus was always on symmetry, proportions, and aesthetics, rather than just gaining massive size. From reading articles and a lot of his writing, it seems that Frank really believed in push-pull days. For example, he might go in one day and do bench press, then incline dumbbell press, then go on to lat pull downs, bend over rows, and dumbbell pullovers. That's a nice push and pull routine for your chest and back. And for leg day, Frank would start off with leg extensions, leg press, leg blaster squats, barbell stiff deadlifts. Then he would move on to leg curls, superset with donkey calf raises, and seated calf raises. A lot of his routines focus on push, pull, and compound movements. He loves squats, bench press, and deadlifts, movements that are commonly used to test overall strength. And when it comes to diet, Frank Zane would eat a low carbohydrate diet, split out over several meals throughout the day, and cutting out any milk proteins in the weeks leading up to competition. In interviews, Frank Zane admitted that he looked his best when he was eating several small meals per day. Now he admits that he found this regimen by accident. He was just trying to get down as many as 60 to 80 capsules and tablets throughout the day of all kinds of different supplements. And so eating several small meals throughout the day helped him achieve his goal of downing massive amounts of tablets and capsules.
In 1976, I was eating 7 meals a day, and each meal was basically a combination of protein and carbohydrates with a little bit of fat so that I can ingest a lot of capsules. I would probably ingest 80 to 100 capsules each time I ate.
Each time?
Uh-huh. And so I would get close to 600 to 700 capsules a day, but it worked.
Now when it comes to his chemical enhancement, Frank has been very tight-lipped about the drugs that he actually used. He talks a lot about using aminos, vitamins, and minerals, explaining that high amounts of amino acids could have a drug-like effect.
I never relied on any of that stuff. I wanted to get that effect from supplements. Yeah. And you know, when you take high doses of supplements, of vitamins, minerals, enzymes, amino acids, you do get a drug-like effect.
Really?
And any of you bros out there that use creatine, taurine, L-glutamine, L-arginine, you already know that he was right. Now when it comes to steroid use, Frank Zane has been very tight-lipped about the subject. In older interviews during his heyday, he criticized the overuse of anabolic steroids by younger lifters, and then goes on to say that hormone replacement therapy, or replacing the hormones that are diminishing in production as you get older, is an acceptable practice for older bodybuilders.
I'm not against the use of certain nutrients, let's say, like vitamins, minerals, enzymes, amino acids, and even hormones, if they're called for in certain cases, like with advancing years. Hormonal replacement therapy. As people get older, their hormones secretions slow down, and that's when we use more people age, as well as eating wrong foods. Now, things like that I'm not against.
Now, in more recent interviews, Frank Zane has admitted to having used TRT at some point in his life, but says he got off of the testosterone because of concerns about cancer.
Testosterone replacement, so replacing what you've lost as you've got older. What do you think about that?
I did it for a while, but I haven't done it in a long time because, one of the things about testosterone is cancer feeds on testosterone.
Really?
I looked all over the place and there was a lot of speculation, but very few snippets of actual real information that would lead us to understand what his actual steroid cycle looked like. They're just not there. I had to piece it all together from different interviews that Frank has done throughout the years. And here's what I came up with, guys, as far as Frank Zane's actual chemical enhancement regimen. So here's what we do know. Frank Zane loved supplements, amino acids, vitamins, minerals in high quantities. And we do speculate that Frank Zane was also one of the first bodybuilders to use thyroid hormones such as T4 in order to help him get ripped for competition. And we also know that the older Frank Zane has admitted to using TRT. Couple that with his interview where he discusses testosterone replacement therapy, it would lead me to believe that Frank Zane was using a testosterone base, some thyroid hormones, and a whole lot of supplements in order to get ready for his competitions. So here's where you will need to start to build my version of the Frank Zane pre-competition cycle. First, you want to grab 2 bottles of Titan spray, 1 bottle of hydroxygenin, 1 muscle support stack, 3 bags of aminos, 3 tubs of organa, 3 bags of nitric, and 4 bags of Titan. Now the way to run this cycle, guys, is pretty simple. Run Titan for 8 weeks, followed by the muscle support stack for PCT. Run the Titan spray every day for 8 weeks, followed by the muscle support stack for post-cycle therapy. So in this case, the Titan spray would work as that testosterone base, that TRT dose that we suspect Frank Zane might have been taking during his time in competition. Now, when it comes to the hydroxygenin, which we're going to use in place of the T4 that we suspect Frank Zane might have been using at the time, you want to drop it in on the last 4 weeks going up to competition. So you would do the Titan spray during the first 4 weeks, and then weeks 5 through 8, you would run the Titan spray along with the hydroxygenin. So in essence, you would go through a mass gaining phase in the first 4 weeks, and then in the last 4 weeks leading up to the imaginary competition, you would be running hydroxygenin to help you cut down, to help you get chiseled, to look ripped on stage, while still running that testosterone base so that you don't lose any muscle mass. When it comes to the use of hormones, I think this is about all that Frank Zane was really using. He wasn't a massive guy with a ton of mass. He was very built and very defined, but his size, his proportions, he just did not look like a bodybuilder who was on a ton of stuff. And the information that I was able to piece together from interviews is what kind of led me to that conclusion. Again, this is all speculation. Frank Zane has not approved this video. Now, when it comes to the use of nitric, aminos, organa, and Titan, these are those amino acids, vitamins and minerals at the high dosing that should produce a drug-like effect. Or at least, that is the way that Frank Zane described it in interviews. And here's the way we're going to use this supplement, guys. You want to run the nitric, organa, aminos, and Titan powder for all of your 12 weeks during cycle and PCT. And what is the best way to time the dosing of these natural ingredients? What is the best way to take them? First, you want to make sure that you're taking the recommended dose every day. Make sure you take what's on the label, scoop to scoop. Take your organa in the morning along with some Titan. Take your aminos and nitric as a pre-workout, intra-workout, and post-workout. Nitric and aminos, they come in real clutch during that time of the day. And at night, if you didn't take all of your Titan dose in the morning, if you have dosed it to take it along with organa, you can take the rest of your dose at night. Or in that case, guys, you can just take the organa in the morning, nitric and aminos around the time of training, and Titan in the nighttime. And this is what I think is the best way to take those high amounts of amino acids, vitamins, and minerals that Frank Zane told us would work just like a drug. Now, guys, there's a lot more knowledge that Frank Zane has shared with us. There's a lot more details about his workout regimen and his diet that you can find online everywhere. But for the purposes of this video, I made sure to keep it real short, keep it real condensed, and give you a guideline that might help you recreate some of what Frank Zane was doing around the time that he was winning his titles. If you have any questions about this video, if you would like to request a video, if there's a bodybuilder that you would like me to research and break down for you, please head over to vintage-muscle.com and click on the community link. As of today, we're 20,000 strong and counting. Just come on in, ask your questions, request a video, and I'll be there to answer your questions and fulfill your video request. But make sure to come on in. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.